But here's the other thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about, and I've talked to you guys about this before, and that is follow up. And this is where it's going to help maybe Brittany and Hillary and Melissa, and even you, Jeff. So the next story is Joey went out and he went out and met with a client yesterday. It was a big job, probably $90,000. And the client, had already gotten a bid after he paid us to do the design, instead of doing a patio extension, to do a deck. And that kind of flustered Joey a little bit, because we don't really build decks for that scenario. And so Joey was like, he was a little bit discouraged, but he was like, I turned it around. Everything went well. And he goes, I don't even know if they're going to do a project. And I said, dude, they're going to do a project. Okay. And here's the signs. The guy called you out. First of all, he had another landscape company do an entire landscape for him last year. And then he called us up to do more. He paid you for a design after he paid somebody else to do a design last year. So he's invested. And number 3, he brought another contractor out to give him a bid on a deck instead of the patio, while we were doing a design for him. And I was like, dude, the guy is going to do the project. I said, you have to come up with a reason to go back to his house. We've talked about this, right? You remember that, Jeff? When I was talking to you guys about leave your jacket at their house, for crying out loud, to have an excuse to go back to their house, right? And so Joey and I brainstormed a lot yesterday, and I was like, look, I know how you can go back to this guy's house. I said, you should have set it up at his house, but listen, in this market, which is very unsure, right? We're all in a very kind of weird market right now. You don't want to leave someone's house without setting another appointment to go back. I'm telling you guys, this is very important right now. It's super important. You always want to set up an appointment to go back. So I said, here's what you're going to do. You're going to call the guy up, and sooner than later, he had just left the guy's house. I said, if you wait a day, it's done. So you need to call him back, and you need to say, look, I've been thinking about our conversation a lot. Okay. Based off of the conversations we've had, I think that the paver patio extension is the best way for you to go. However, the guy that was bidding him a deck was not bidding the deck the right way, right? He was just cutting all sorts of corners, and the homeowner admitted that. And so did they figured that out. And I said, look, so you need to say, however, I'll tell you what, I don't want you to lose the opportunity to work with us. This is I told him that again, I don't want you to lose the opportunity to work with us. Let's meet back up next Tuesday. And let's just reevaluate this project. It's going to give you some time to think about whether you want to do the patio or you want to do the deck. If at that time you want to do a deck, I will bring with me a design for the deck, and then we'll bid out the deck for you. And what I told Joey is, I said, dude, even though we don't think it's important to build a deck at that height, because it's only like 18 inches off the ground, I think it's way better to just build a patio. As long as we give the client all of the reasons to build a deck and all the reasons not to build a deck, and they have an educated mind, who are we to not build what they want? I just want them to know what they're up against. And so, I don't know. I haven't followed up with him. I don't know if he set the appointment, but it is really important to get that second appointment, especially if they say I have to think about it. Say, great. If you got to think about it, totally understand. Would 4 days of thinking about it be enough for you? Because I have an opening on such and such day. Let's get together to either sign contract or make any changes to the design that we want. Most people who are serious about doing a project, they'll set that second appointment and they will appreciate it. For me, whether I get the job or not with this gal, it's only a $40,000 job. It's not as important to me as being able to turn it around. And I know a lot of it has to do with my conviction about my company and about our skills, and being able to portray that to people in a confident manner, not in an arrogant manner. And I know that I walk the line on arrogance and confidence. That you're laughing, Melissa. I do. I walk the line. And a lot of my clients probably think I'm arrogant, but they still like my confidence. And so they still go with me. So, but everybody's got their own style, but you really do need to work on your confidence and your follow-ups, especially in this economy. Follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up.